Kinsley C opens this up here today, serving. She got an ace on the first one, and the second one, they blocked it at the net, the return, that is. Now she'll get her third serve over as Bergman leads 2-0. Bunch it with the set. And Keeter went up for the slam. She's not going to get that. It'll be blocked at the net by the Cave women. 2-1 is your score. And the Cave women are back to serve. Serve is up, and it's over. Sent back to the front. Mudgett tips it over. Cave women are going to save it, get it back. Kinsley C to the front. Over to Keeter. Keeter will get that, and they're going to call in the net on number 16. It'll be against the Cave women, so it'll be a point. And Mudgett will go back to serve. Serve is up. It's over. About midway deep. It'll be hit over. Keeter goes up, and she'll get that down in a perfect spot as it falls just inbounds. And Mudgett will be back to serve a second time. Holly Keeter puts that perfectly in the corner. We've got a timeout on the floor. 10-4, Bergman leads the first set in the best of 5 here at the district tournament. We are in Flippin, Arkansas at Flippin High School, and they're hosting this tournament here today. There'll be 2 games today, 2 games on Thursday, and 2 games on Saturday. Score now 11-4. Keeter back to serve again. Serve is over. It's a low line or just gets up over the net, but they'll get it returned on the back row. West will send it back to the front. Mudgett will set it. Seal punch it across with the other hand. They were looking for the slam and it didn't come, but she's going to punch that across with her right hand. I'm sorry, her left hand. And now Keeter will be back to serve with a 12-4 lead. This will hit the net and fall back to the floor. Okay, women serve. Trailing 12-5. Castle gets it in the air. Mudgett will set it. Just tipped over by Castle, saved by the Cave women across. Now Castle, Mudgett will send it to C, and she'll send it down, and it'll just come inside that baseline. Back to serve now will be number 23, Jaslyn Porter. Porter's serve is up. It'll be deep. Sent back to the front. Now sent across. West goes down and tries to get that and can't quite get there. 13-6 is the score now. Cave women trail by 7. Into the net is the serve, and it'll be 14-6 with Blair Castle going back to serve for the Bergman Lady Panthers. Lainey Butler back to serve. The score is 23-11. Her serve is up. It's over. She muscled up on that and it went through the baseline. Melbourne just got here. They will play Flippin immediately after this. Cave women serving. Serve is up. They're down by 11. West on the back row saves it back to the front. Keeter gets it across. Now the Cave women will go up and they'll send that out of bounds as that actually hits the coach. And that'll be the 24th point. And now the Bergman Lady Panthers will be serving for the set. Holly Keeter. Serve is up. It's over. Cave women save it and do get it back over. And it just falls in right where West was at. Cave women will have to win all these points. And it falls over. Bergman will get it back across, but they're going to call lift on Mudgett. 24-14. They're down by 10 now. Serve is up. Keeter gets it back in the air. Porter gets it back in. Cross. Now the Cave women have to get it across on this one. Keeter. Mudgett. Mudgett will set it and he'll send it out of bounds. That'll be a point for the Cave women from Cave City. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. 24-15 first set is your score. In for the point. Kinsley C will get the set point there, and 25-15 is your score. Bergman will win the first set by 10, and we'll be back. Holly Keeter will deliver the spike from the back row. And it'll be a successful one as it wins the point. Kinsley C's serve hits the top of the net and falls back to the floor on the Bergman side. Your score early in the second set, 3-1 in favor of the Cave Women. Serve is up. It'll be returned by C. Hit into the net, or blocked rather. Be blocked again, and Mudgett will have it hit her twice. And it'll be a point for the Cave Women. Serve by the Cave Women is up and over. Castle sends it back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Keeter will hit it, deliver, and then it'll be a big-time spike inbound. And that spike will come from, it looks like Holly Keeter went up and did that. Kyla Mudgett now back to serve for Bergman. Mudgett's serve is hit high in the air. Now to be returned. Castle saves it. C will send it back to the front. Keeter will tip it over. They're going to say she double hit it. That'll push the lead for Cave City out to 5-2, and they'll be back to serve. Serve is up, over deep. C sends it high in the air. I'm sorry, Castle, and then C will save it. And it comes across as they had to just get it across, and it'll be hit, but on the floor for the Cave Women. Avery West checks back in for Laney Butler, and West will be back to serve. Her serve is up, and it'll go out of bounds on the far side of the floor right in front of the Cave City bench. 6-3 is your score. Serve is up, just barely clears the net. Keeter tries to save it, can't get it, and it'll go out of bounds off of her hands. Timeout on the floor. We'll take the timeout with them, be right back. Keeter got that back across. Now the Cave Women just have to get it back. Castle will send it high in the air. Mudgett over to Keeter, and it'll be down on the floor and dug out. 3 hits, gets it across. Now Mudgett will set this. C will go up, and she'll deliver a perfectly placed shot. It'll stay inbounds for the point for Bergman. 7-4, Holly Keeter back to serve. Keeter's serve is up. It's over. Hits a player, spins out of bounds, back in. Now they've got to get it across. West will save it. It would look like it might have been going out of bounds. They're going to call the point for Cave City. That'll push the lead to 8-4. That ball was not going to make it back over the net, and I believe that's what they called. Keeter, high in the air. Mudgett sets it. Porter tries to just tip it across. Can't get it. She's blocked at the net, and then she tries to save it, and it'll be a point for the Cave Women, who lead 9-4 now. Serve will be all the way back to Keeter. Mudgett will send it to the front. C will spike it, and it'll be blocked at the net. Cave Women block that shot at the net, pick up the point. Now they take a 6-point lead. Serve is up. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett sends it high in the air. It'll be tipped at the net by Blair Castle, and she will get the point for Bergman. Now Jaslyn Porter back to serve for Bergman. Serve is up. It's not particularly deep, about halfway. And it's over. West will send it in the air. Mudgett. Keeter from the back row sends it all the way out of the baseline. And it'll be a point for the Cave Women, who lead 11-5. Cave Women get the serve over. It goes awkwardly off of Kinsley C and out of bounds through the baseline as it carried to the side, kind of. And it'll be a point for the Cave Women, who lead by 7 now. Shot is up. This spins out of bounds. Porter gave chase, couldn't get there. Now they're going to huddle up. Coach is sending in a substitution. This will be number 3, Adeline Malott. Malott will come in for Keeter. Serve is up by the Cave Women. C at the 10-foot line. Castle with the spike. Castle saves it. West over to C. C gets it across at the net. They will save it. Porter gets it back up in the air. Now C's going to go up and try to spike it. She just tips it across, and it's blocked. Then it goes out of bounds off of the Cave Women on this near sideline. West will check back out. Laney Butler back in. Blair Castle back to serve for Bergman. 13-6 with a 7-point lead for Cave City. Castle serve over. Deep and out of bounds. It'll be a point for the Lady Panthers. Castle gets an ace there, and she'll be back to serve for a second time. That ball spun off of the libero in for the Cave Women and out of bounds. Here's the serve. This one goes out of bounds as it just made it past the baseline. 14-7. Cave Women clinging to that 7-point lead. Serve is up, over, dug out, sent back to the front. Jaslyn Porter goes down to dig that out, and it'll hit Kinsley C in the back. It'll be a point for the Cave Women, who have now taken an 8-point lead and lead 15-7. Serve is up and over. C returns it. It'll be hit into the net, and no one else can get to it as the Cave Women hand the point to Bergman. Now Kinsley C back to serve. Malott checks back out, and Keeter checks back in. Deep, and it'll be sent high in the air. Now it'll be returned with a spike. Mudgett will save that. C will punch it across. Now Porter saves it. Mudgett will set it. Butler goes up and tries to get it into the net. It'll be over the net. It'll be blocked at the net and fall back to the floor. Cave Women pick up the point. 16-8 is the score. Cave City leads. Serve is up. Kinsley sends this back to the front. Keeter goes up, and she's going to muscle up. That'll go out of bounds on this near sideline. It'll be another point for the Cave City women. They'll lead 17-8 now. Porter high in the air. Keeter, Butler. Butler going to get it across, but they're going to say she hit it twice. She had her hands together, but she apparently hit that ball twice, and they'll send it across. Deep serve to the front. Mudgett will get it over, and a spike at the net. C tried to go down and get it and could not get there from that position. Cave City now leading 19-8. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Keeter goes up, tips it over. Now it'll be back to the net for Cave City. They get it across. Blair Castle back to the front. Holly Keeter goes up and spikes it, and she's going to get that to fall for a point as it was attempted to be blocked at the net and off of Cave City and out of bounds. Kyla Mudgett back to serve for Bergman. Serve is up, over, dug out, spins backwards. Excuse me, now they got to get it across. They do. Porter, Keeter gets it back across. Blocked at the net by Laney Butler, and that'll be a point for the Lady Panthers from Bergman. Excuse me. Serve is up and over and deep, and they let it go, and it goes through the baseline. Porter digs that out, sends it back across, and they're going to say it's inbounds. And now Laney Butler will go back to serve as the Lady Panthers trail by 9, 20-11. Butler's had some great serves this season. She'll get this one across. It'll be returned. They can set this. Now Mudgett will set it for Keeter. Hits it straight down in the middle of the zone for the point, 20-12. The Panthers try to mount a comeback here. Laney Butler back to serve. Serve is up. Dug out by the libero. Now it'll be set at the net. Tipped at the net. Almost blocked. And Keeter will send this back across and out of bounds as it goes through the baseline. 21-12. Butler checks out. West back in. This will be saved by C. And now Keeter's going to go up and slam it down. It'll be saved, and the Cave women will get it back across. Castle goes down and gets that. Over to C. Keeter will get it across. Now it'll come back to West as the Cave women return it. This is set, and Castle sends it deep in the zone. Cave women get it back across. Mudgett to Blair. Blair will save it, but the point will go to the Lady Cave women. I guess that's a double saying something double. Cave women got it because of 4 hits on the Panthers. Holly Keeter lets that go out of bounds. It goes out of bounds here on the near sideline, and Panthers will pick up the point. Holly Keeter back to serve. Her serve is up and over. It'll be saved. Now they just got to get it across because they didn't get it very high. Mudgett will send that high in the air. C will get it and push it across. Now they'll set this at the net and try to spike it. It's almost partially blocked. C returns it high in the air. Now they've just got to get it across. And they do, but it goes out of bounds. Bergman will pick up that point, and Holly Keeter will be back to serve again. The lead's been cut to 22-14. Keeter's serve is deep and out through the baseline. Libero checks out for Cave City. They have a 23-14 lead and a huge advantage in this second set. Keeter saves that. It might have been going out of bounds. West back to the front. See, he'll tip it over. Cave City's got to get it back over. Now West sends it back to the front. Mudgett will send it across. Mudgett normally sets those. Now West back to the front. Mudgett. It'll go over, but it goes out of bounds on the far side of the floor. And now the Cave women will have set point in this second set. 24-14. It's up, it's over. Keeter gets it high in the air. Mudgett back to the front. Castle gets it across, and then she'll get it down for the point, and that will be 24-15. Now, with Jaslyn Porter going back to serve, these Lady Panthers have to get all of these points to win this second set. Serve is up. It's deep. Sent back to the net and over, but out of bounds on this near sideline. And Porter will cut the lead again to 24-16. Porter serve. It's up. It's over. It's deep. Back to the front. Now they've just got to get it over, and they do. West will get this back to the front. Mudgett sets it for C, and C will get it partially blocked at the net, but back across. Now they tip it across, and that ball will fall inbound for the set point, 25-16. And this time it will be won by the visiting team, Cave City Cave Women. Will be back after the timeout. Okay. The officials have checked the lineups, and now we're going to have Bergman starting this by serving, and it'll be Kinsley Seed back to serve. Seed serve is up and over, down the line and out of bounds. Bergman will lose the first point to this third set. Both teams have won one set apiece. Now the Cave Women will serve. Ball hit back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Keeter goes up and smacks the ball, but it's partially blocked at the net. Now it'll be Mudgett just hitting it over. Cave Women get it back across. Castle back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Keeter goes up and she'll smack that down, and it'll fall just inbounds on the baseline. It's any part of the baseline, and it's a point. So now we're 1-1, and Kyla Mudgett is back to serve. Serve is up. Spins off of the defender. Now to go across. C sends it back to the front. Set for Keeter. Keeter tips it. It's blocked at the net, and that'll be a point for the Cave Women. And they will lead 2-1 in this early in this third set. One set apiece for these two teams. Serve is up to the back. Porter sends it back to the front. Keeter with a spike that's going to go out of bounds. And the Cave women will take a 3-1 lead in this third set. Castle, Mudgett. I'm sorry, that was C. Porter goes up and smacks that. Now she'll bring it back. The Cave women will get it back across. Mudgett tips it across. They get 2 hands on it. Now they've got to get it back across. They do. Castle to Mudgett. To Keeter. Keeter's going to get that to fall after it was partially blocked at the net. Keeter will pick up that point. Laney Butler will check out. And checking back in will be the libero, Avery West. West will go back to serve. Her serve is up and over. It's hit fairly deep. Sent high. Now they've just got to get it over from the back row. Mudgett's going to get a chance to set this. Blair Castle hits it softly and doesn't quite get enough on it to get it across the net. 4-2 is the score. Cave women back to serve. Serve is up and over. Kinsley C goes down to try to save that, and she just couldn't get to it quick enough, and it'll fall back to the floor. Cave women back to serve. Serve is up. West gets this back up to the front. Keeter's going to get it out, and it's going to stay in. They call that in. It must have hit the outside corner of that corner, and Holly Keeter will be back to serve after getting another kill for the Bergman Lady Panthers. She'll serve from the far side of the floor. Her serve is up and over, and it's going to be an ace in front of a diving libero for the Cave women. 5-4 is the score now as the Lady Panthers are mounting a comeback. Holly Keeter back to serve. She'll serve this time only trailing by 1. Her serve is up and it's over. It's deep. It'll go out of bounds off the libero as it spins off of her hands and straight out. No chance she gets that up in the air for anybody to get a hold of. Keeter with 2 aces, and now she'll be back to serve for her 3rd straight serve. Serve is up, low liner. Libero digs this one out, high in the air. They've got to get it across. West, back to the front. Mudgett. C is going to hit it. And instead of spiking it, she tried to hit it in a spot. Now C will save it. It'll be sent back to the front. Castle gets it across, back across. They're going to call in the net against the Cave women, and that'll be another point for Keeter. And now the Lady Panthers have taken the lead in this third set, 6-5. We know how dangerous they are with the lead. That ball is going to hit the net, crawl over, fall to the floor, and it's going to be another ace for the Lady Panthers. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll take the timeout with them. We'll be right back. Back to serve again will be Holly Keeter. Coach is feeling it. The team is loose, and they are ready to play here today. Bergman is tied 1-1 with the Cave women from Cave City. And now Keeter will get her opportunity to deliver this serve. It'll be up. Low liner hits the net and falls back to the floor on the Bergman side. Your score is going to be 7-6. They haven't changed it. There they go, 7-6, and the Cave women will be back to serve. Keeter checks out, Malott back in. Serve is up. It's not even going to be close. Hits the pole and goes out of bounds. And now back to serve will be Jaslyn Porter, number 23. She'll serve from right in the middle of the floor. Serve is up and over. Sit to the back row. To the front. Set at the net, but they're going to call a double hit against Cave City, and Porter will extend the lead to 9-6. Second serve is up. It's to the back row. Spins. Now they got to get it across. They do. Porter sends it back to the front. It'll be set, and Blair Castle goes up, and she'll get that to fall off of the attempted block from the Cave women, and it'll be another point for the Lady Panthers, who push the lead now to 4, 10-6. Porter's serve is up and over to the back. Now they get it back across. West will set this up. Kinsley C with a big hit. And the Cave women get it back across. Budget sets for C. C with another big hit at the net. It'll be hit straight up in the air, back across by the Cave women. Avery West to Mudgett. Mudgett will hit it across. West back up front. Mudgett to C, and C will send this across the net in a hurry, but it's going to be returned by the Cave women. Now West back to C. She tips it across this time. High in the air, and Cave women will hit this into the net, and it'll be another Bergman point. Now the lead is 11-6. Porter back to serve again. Deep serve this time. High in the air. It'll be sent across by the Cave women. Now Mudgett will send this up, and it's going to be tipped over, but they're going to call Blair Castle for in the net. And that'll be a point for the Cave women. 11-7 is the score. Cave City back to serve. Serve is up, over. West gets it high in the air. Porter sends it back to the front. C will go up and tip it across into the net, and Cave women are unable to return that, and it'll be another point. Laney Butler back in for West. 12-7 is the score, and back to serve will be Blair Castle. She'll serve from the far side of the floor, just outside the basketball lane, and hers will go into the net and fall back to the floor. 12-8 is your score now. Cave women back to serve. Serve is up, over. It'll be returned by Bergman. Castle saves that, and she saves it to a spot on the floor where it fell in between Malott and C. Neither one of them called it, and now the Cave women will serve down by 3. C back to the front. Set up, and it tipped across, but blocked. C tried to just barely tip that across, and it was blocked, and it'll be a Cave woman point. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Your score is 12-10. Bergman leads. We'll be right back. All right, Cave City's back to serve. They trail by 2 now, 12-10 in this third set. Both teams have won one set apiece. Panthers won the first set. The second set was won by Cave City. Tipped over by Mudgett. Now we're going to have a double hit called against Mudgett. That'll make it a 1-point match or set. And the Cave women will serve to tie it. Castle saves that as C let it go. But we're all tied up at 12 here in the third set. Just like the match, we're tied up at 12 here. The match is tied 1-1. Serve is over. Porter sends it high in the air. Mudgett back to the net. Butler's going to tip it over. It'll be sent right back immediately, and this will be out of bounds, and it'll be a Bergman point. They'll take a 13-12 lead, and Kinsley C's going to check out, and checking in will be number 8, Taylor Molenix, and also checking back in is Holly Keeter. Malott checks out. Molenix serves. She'll hit that into the net, and it'll fall back to the floor. Kinsley C will check right back in as Molenix was in just to serve. Cave Women will be back to serve now. Serve is up. It's over. Dug out by Porter and across the net. It'll be set at the net, not very high, and it'll fall inbounds on this near side right in front of the official and right in front of the 10-foot line. That will give the Cave Women the lead with 14-13. Back across, sent high in the air by Castle. Keeter up and over. It's going to go out of bounds. I just wonder, was that touched at the net, because they went up for the block and didn't touch it. Cave Women with a 2-point lead now. Castle back to the front. Butler sends it across, and it'll fall in between 3 different Cave Women players. Kind of reminiscent of the Razorbacks at the National Championship tournament a few years ago. Mudgett with the serve. She sends it deep, high in the air, back to the front. Now they'll set it. Send it back across. Castle with the save. Keeter sends that back across with authority and went up for another spike and just missed it. 16-14, Cave Women lead. Cave City back to serve, leading by 2. Serve is up. Blair Castle gets it back to the front. Mudgett's going to set it. Porter sends it back across. Now it'll be high in the air, and this will be saved by Mudgett. Porter gets it up, and Keeter's going to hit it through the baseline for another point for Cave City. Now the lead is 17-14. Cave City still serving. That ball barely gets over the net, and Kinsley C can't get down low enough to dig that out. Cave City with a big service here, 18-14. Castle sends it back to the front. Mudgett's going to set it up high. Keeter with a shot that'll be returned to the front. And then the Cave Women will hit it into the net and fall to the floor on their side. Laney Butler will go back to serve. Lady Panthers trail by 2. Butler serve is low and over. Mudgett will tip this across high in the air off of the Arkansas flag. And then it'll stay inbound on the spike from the front row for the Cave Women. Butler will check out, and West checks back in. It was a nice serve. Now Castle will send this up, tip it across, and she's going to tip that in a perfect spot. Couldn't have been any better of a spot on the floor, right at the 10-foot line, and it'll be a point for the Lady Panthers. 19-16, Bergman trails. Keeter with the serve, it's up. It'll be sent back to the front, high in the air. They'll just tip it across. They're going to call a double hit. Oh, a lift is what they call. They call a lift against Cave City, and now Holly Keeter will be back to serve with the Panthers only trailing by 2, 19-17. Serve is back. It's going to be out of bounds, and that's going to be an ace for Keeter. Keeter's had a huge service day here today, and it is continuing in this service set right here. Keeter to serve. Over the net. It's going to spin backwards. The libero's going to get it back to the front. Cave City just gets it across. Mudgett will set this. C will go up and push it across. Now Cave City will send this back to the back row. Keeter's going to dig it out. Now C's going to send it back across with authority. Back to the front. They'll set this, punch it across. Mudgett sends it back to the front. Porter sets it. Castle's going to just tip it across. Again, Castle will set this. Now Mudgett will set it. C will get it across. And it'll go out of bounds. It was going out anyway. Cave City did Bergman a favor by trying to play the ball. It went out of bounds. And now Keeter will go back to serve with this set tied up at 19. Serve is up into the net, and it'll be a point for Cave City. They lead 20-19. Malott will check back in, and Keeter will check out and get some rest. Served by the Cave women is deep. Malott gets a hold of that, but it spins off of her hands and out of bounds on the baseline. Cave City now leads by 2, 21-19. Serve from Cave City is up. Malott gets this back to the front and over the net. And then it'll fall to the floor as there was some confusion with the Cave City players. Porter will go back to serve, and Porter's had a great day behind the service line as well. She'll look to get the points here. Serve is just behind the 10-foot line. Spike down West. Gets it in the air. Mudgett sets it. C will tip it across. This will be high in the air for Cave City. Now back to the net. Mudgett's going to set it. Castle goes up, and she's going to spike it, but it'll be saved and dug out. Tipped up by C. Mudgett. C. And that'll be blocked at the net. And Cave City again will take a 2-point lead. 22-20, and they'll be back to serve. Serve is up. Avery West sends it high in the air. Mudgett. She'll set it up for C, and it'll fall back to the – no, it didn't fall. West now sends this high in the air. Back to the front. Castle will send it across to the back row. They'll get it high in the air and now try to spike it. It'll go out of bounds. That ball was out of bounds by about 3 inches, and it'll be a Bergman point, 22-21. Back to serve will be Blair Castle. Her serve is up. It'll spin, but back to the front. Now they've just got to get it over. Castle with the ball. She'll set up C. C's going to spike it. It'll be dug out. Then into the net, they're going to call into the net and a hit out of bounds, and that'll tie this third set up. And Blair Castle, with a huge service right here, is ready to serve and break this tie. Cave City sends it back to the front. It's set, and they're not going to get it across on the third hit. It hits the net and falls to the floor. Blair Castle has put Bergman back in the lead. 23-22, and we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. And we're back. Blair Castle serving. The Lady Panthers need 2 points. You have to win a set by 2 points. Serve is up. Spins backwards. They've got a player there. Now they've just got to get it across, and they do. Porter high in the air. C sends it across. A spike that'll fall in between Malott and Blair. It was a well-placed shot. Now we're all tied at 23 again. The only way to win from this score right here is to win the next 2 points for Cave City. Otherwise, we're going to have extra time today. Keeter was wanting to check in, and I'm guessing that the officials stopped that. So Keeter takes a seat back on the bench, and here's the serve by Cave City. Castle back to the front. Seal send it across, and now Cave City will set it at the net, and that ball will fall inbounds as it just falls inside the corner. Right thing to do for Bergman is to let that fall, but it hurts when it does fall just inside. Cave City serving now for the set. It'll be hit deep. Castle, and that'll be your set. 25-23. Cave City's going to win that. Castle hit it in the air, and there was no one there as C was walking forward. We'll be right back after the timeout. All right, we're going to start this next set, and it'll be the fourth set with Cave City leading 2-1 in this 3A district tournament. Keeter will dig this out to Mudgett. Mudgett will get it to Porter. Porter sends it across. High in the air on the Cave City zone. Back across. West will send this back to the front. Mudgett, she'll set that for Keeter, and Keeter will get it back across. Now Keeter will save this. Now Keeter goes up again, and that'll go out of bounds. And for the third consecutive set, Cave City will start with the first point of the set. This one will be dug out by Keeter, goes all the way to the floor. Castle, Mudgett. Castle will tip that across. Sent back across. Now Castle saves it. High in the air. He will send it back across for the Lady Panthers. That's going to be tipped and out of bounds. It'll be off of Kinsley C. And now the Cave women will take a 2-0 lead in this fourth set. We are very early in the fourth set. Serve is up. It's over. Keeter gets it back to the front. Mudgett high in the air. Keeter with a spike off the hands of the Cave women. They get it back across to Avery West. She'll get it back to the front. Mudgett over to Keeter. Keeter's going to have her shot blocked. Castle sends it back across to save the point. West digs this out in the back. Mudgett high in the air. Castle goes up and delivers a shot across. Returned. Seal save it. Now Castle will just tip it over. And this will go out of bounds off of the hands of the Cave women. 2-1 is your score. And the Lady Panthers will be back to serve, and it'll be Holly Keeter back to serve. Keeter's serve is up. Deep in the zone. Cave women get this back across. Keeter digs this out. Now Mudgett. Kinsley C will get this. It'll go up off the facilities, fall back to the floor as it hit a speaker hanging from the ceiling. And when it fell back down, no one from Cave City could pick it up. Keeter back to serve. We're all tied up at 2. We're early in this fourth set. Serve is low, spins off of their hands and out of bounds off of Cave City. 3-2 is your score. Again, we're early in the fourth set, and Cave City leads 2-1. Bergman won the first set. The second and third was won by Cave City. Keeter's serve is back in the back row, back to the front. Set up, spiked, and it's going to fall inbounds. That ball was spiked well and inbounds. 3-3 is your score. Cave women back to serve. Serve is up. West. West will get it back to the front. Mudgett over to C. C will have her shot blocked at the net, and then they're going to call 4 hits against the Lady Panthers. 4-3 is your score. Cave women serve. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett. C sends a shot to the back row, and now this will be returned. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Castle goes up. Castle hits that through the baseline, and it'll be another point for Cave City, who leads 5-3 now. In this fourth set, serve is up. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett gets it across, but they're going to call it. They're going to call a double hit on Mudgett. She looked awfully confused, and I'm not going to pretend I'm not just as confused. Serve. Castle. Mudgett. C with a shot, and it's going to come back to the net. They're going to send it over. West will get this one to C. Now Castle will get it back across. She hits it in a perfect spot right in front of a diving libero, and she'll stop that scoring break right there. 6-4 is the score. Cave City leads. Jaslyn Porter back to serve. Porter serves low in the zone. Now they've just got to get it across, and they do. Porter with the ball. She saves it. Castle goes up. Again, Castle hits the shot. This spins off of a player and goes out of bounds on this near side, and Castle will help pick up the point again. Porter back to serve. High in the air. They've got to just get it across. They do. Porter sends this up in the air. And it'll be a point on the, as it stays in bounds on the Cave City side. Bergman will pick up that point. Now Porter will go back to serve, and we're all tied up at 6. Cave City's going to get this back across, and it'll go out of bounds after being touched by one of the Bergman players, and that'll be another point, 7-6. Cave City now leads. Serve is up. Dug out by West. Return at the net. They're going to tip it back across. Keeter's going to send it back to the front. C's going to go up, and she's going to get a hard shot that goes to the back row. Third hit. They get it across. Porter back to the front. Now Mudgett's going to set this. Castle gets a shot, and that'll go out of bounds. Great intentions, just poor execution. She had great intentions and just didn't get lucky to have it fall. Now C at the net, spikes it, and she'll do it again as it's hit back over. But they're gonna say that it's the Cave City point, and she hit it on their side. Now Keeter gets it over to Castle. C will get it back across, back to the front, and it'll fall on the floor for a Bergman point. 9-7 is the score. West checks out. Laney Butler back in. Back to serve is Blair Castle. Serve is up. Off of two different players and out of bounds on this near sideline. It'll be a point for Bergman. It's a 1-point lead now as Castle gets ready to serve yet again. He's had some good serves today. That wasn't one of them. That'll hit the net, and with some help from another Bergman player, it's tipped on over. 10-8, Cave City leads. They serve. Castle back to the front. This will be set for, and it'll be a point as Kinsley Seed delivers a spike. It's partially blocked at the net, and then it falls to the floor in front of another Cave City player. Kinsley Seed back to serve. Serve is up. It's deep in the zone. Back to the net and goes under the net and hits Keeter in the legs. Bergman has retaken the lead, 11-10 here. Kinsley C serve is down the line. They're going to say it went out of bounds. They've got a much better view than I do, so we'll go with that. And the Cave women will be back to serve. Serve is up. Sent back to the front. Mudgett will send it across. This will be hit high in the air. Mudgett will save it. Keeter goes up and delivers a deep shot. Tipped across and tipped right in front of C, who was leaning backwards and couldn't get that ball. 12-11, Cave City leads. Cave City serving. Ball's up. Keeter gets a hold of that at the net, and it'll fall back to the floor in front of Kylie Mudgett. Serve is up, dug out by C. Mudgett for Butler. Butler's going to send it deep. Would have gone out of bounds, but they saved it. Now back to C. Mudgett. Keeter's going to just tip this across. Cave City kept it alive. Now Keeter's going to go up and slam it down. Cave City saves that. Back to the back. Castle. Mudgett. Keeter's going to deliver a shot, and that is inbounds for the point. (13-12) is the score. Kyla Mudgett back to serve for the Lady Panthers. Deep in the zone, sent back toward the front. Now they've just got to get it over, and they do. Mudgett gets it to Butler. Porter's going to go up, and it's going to be partially blocked, but fall back to the floor on the Cave City side. It's 13-12. They hadn't changed the score the last time. It's 13-12. Bergman leads. And that's going to go out of bounds off of the hands of the Cave City player. 14-12. Bergman has a 2-point lead, and we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. We'll come out of this timeout, and the Lady Panthers lead the score 14-13. Kyla Mudgett back to serve. Her serve is up. It's over. It's going to be deep. Sent back toward the front. Now they've just got to get it over. Mudgett sends this back to the front. And Panthers will get it back across. Now Mudgett will set it. Porter gets it across, and it's going to fall just in bounds over by the pole. And Cave City will, again, they did the right thing by letting that fall, but you hate it when it does. 15-13, served by Bergman. Back to the front and over the net. Castle will save this one. Keeter will send it across and fairly deep. And then the Cave women will hit it into the net for another Bergman point. Bergman's pushed this lead out to 3 behind the service of Kyla Mudgett. Serve is up. It's fairly deep. Low dugout. Sent across. But they're going to say it was a double hit by Cave City, and that's going to push the lead out to 4. 17-13. Kyla Mudgett serving still yet. Serve is up, over, low, spins out of bounds, and it'll be out of bounds off of Cave City. And it's 18-13, 5-point lead for the Lady Panthers now as Kyla Mudgett is still serving. She's pushed this lead out to 5. We'll see how far she can push this. Got a timeout for a player to tie her shoes for Cave City. Now Mudgett ready. Serve is up, and it's sent to the back row to the libero. Back to the front. They'll push it across. C will save this. Mudgett sets it. Keeter delivers a shot, and it'll be sent back to the front and over. Blocked at the net. That ball was blocked at the net by Lainey Butler, and that'll be a point for the Lady Panthers, needing 6 points now to secure this set. It'll be sent high in the air and back over. Now C will send it back to the front. Mudgett, Keeter. It'll be returned quickly. Castle back to the front. Now Keeter's going to go up and spike it down. They're going to say it went in bounds. The initial response by the judge over here in the corner said inbounds, but they called it a point for Cave City. 19-14. Serve is up. C will send it back to the front. Mudgett will tip it over. It'll be tipped back over. They're going to call a penalty against the Lady Panthers, and it'll be a point for Cave City. The Cave women now trail 19-15. Serve is up. It's over. C gets it back to the front. And it looked like Cave City was in the net, but no call. They'll pick up the point there, and it's 19-16. Lady Panthers still lead by 3, 19-16. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Serve for Cave City is deep, and it'll be back to the front. Keeter tips it across, and it'll fall in front of a diving Cave woman, and that'll push the lead out to 4, 20-16, as Avery West checks back in for Lainey Butler. West will be back to serve. Her serve is up, about 3/4 of the way deep, high in the air. They've got to get it across. Looked like two players hit it at the same time. Mudgett's going to set this. Keeter tips it across, and that's going to be for a point as she put that in a perfect spot right in front of the diving cave woman. West back to serve again. Serve is deep. Get back to the front. They'll send it back across. And this will be Mudgett sending it up. Keeter's just going to tip it across as it was not set very well. Now back to Mudgett. Porter sends it high in the air. Keeter's going to deliver a spike. It's going to go off of one Cave City player and hit the floor before it gets to the other player. Lady Panthers need 3 points, 22-16. Serve is up, it's deep. Back to the front, high in the air. It'll go back to West. West will get it to Mudgett. Keeter goes up, and she's going to spike that down inbounds on the far side of the floor. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor with the Lady Panthers needing 2 points to tie this matchup, 2 sets apiece, 23-16 in this fourth set. We'll be right back. Avery West again back to serve. The Lady Panthers lead 23-16. They only need 2 points to close this out. Serve is back, and it's going to be returned. Immediately sent back across and out of bounds off of Cave City, and it'll be a point for the Lady Panthers. Avery West can win this with an ace or a Bergman point. Serve is up. It's over. Not deep at the 10-foot line. Now they've got to just get it across. They do. West calls for it. Mudgett sets it. Now Keeter goes up, and that's going to be the set. 25-16. Bergman will win this one, and they will tie it up 2 sets apiece. We'll go to a 5th and deciding set. Be right back after this. And we're back here to start this fifth deciding set. Holly Keeter will be back to serve for Bergman to start this fifth set. We won't play the 25, and it's not 225, it's the 15 by 2. And Bergman will pick up the first point of this fifth set, and they'll take a lead. Holly Keeter back to serve. Her serve is up. It's low lying and goes out of bounds. It's out of bounds. 1-1 is your score. Cave City gets set to serve this as soon as they retrieve the ball. Keeter on the back row will send this to the front. Mudgett over to C, and she'll punch it across. Cave City will spike this, and it'll go out of bounds through the baseline. She muscled up a little too much on that. And now Bergman will lead 2-1 with Jaslyn Porter serving. Serve is up. It's over. And this is going to fall to the floor. Well, it looked like it was going to fall to the floor, but it actually went about 4 rows deep in the stands. Ball ends up on the second row. And they'll throw it back out on the floor. Porter will get set to serve again with a 3-1 lead. It's over. Back row back to the front. They'll get it across, but 2 players hit it at the same time. Now the ball will fall out of bounds off of Cave City. And that will be a point for the Lady Panthers. They lead 4-1. We're in the fifth and deciding set to 15 by 2. Serve is up deep, back to the front. It'll be set at the net. Sent across. West digs it out. Mudgett sends it high in the air. Seal send it across. Now at the 10-foot line. They'll hit it, and it'll be inbounds. Or I thought that was the 4th hit, but they send it back across. Now Seal tip it, and it'll stay in play. Back over to Avery West. Keeter to C, and C will send that deep. Cave City gets it back across. Great volley right here. Blair Castle with the shot that goes out of bounds. That shot goes out of bounds, and Cave City will serve, trailing by 2, 4-2. Cave City is going to retrieve this ball. Went back in the locker room area. Might have went into one of the coaches' offices, but now Cave City serves, trailing by 2. Castle. Now the Keeter's just going to have to get it across. She does. She gets it to the 10-foot line, and now West will save this, and C will go up and punch it across. Now West will get it back. C will spike this one down, and it'll go out of bounds, as that ball will bounce out of bounds off of the Cave City players. Laney Butler back in for Avery West. Back to serve will be Blair Castle. Coach is telling her where she wants to serve it. 5-2 is your score. We're in the fifth and deciding set. This is a deep one. And it's going to fall to the floor as it spins off the libero. She sent it up in the air, but not high enough. We've got a timeout on the floor. 6-2 is your score. Bergman leads. This match is all tied up at 2 sets. These teams are back out on the floor. Blair Castle serving, 6-2. Bergman leads. Serve is over the net. Sent back to the front. High in the air now. Libero's going to get it across. Keeter back to the front. Mudgett. C's going to spike that down, and she's going to get that down for the point. A 5-point lead now for Bergman behind the service of Blair Castle. Castle will serve again. Gets it over, spins back off of a Cave City player, back to the front. They've just got to get it over. They do. Castle sends it high in the air. This will be set for Keeter, and she's going to get that down for a point in front of the diving Cave City player. 8-6 is your score. Castle back to serve again. A commanding lead in this fifth set for the Lady Panthers at the moment. 8-2 is your score. Castle's serve is up, deep, back to the front, high in the air. Gets it across. Castle will send it back to the front. Mudgett gets it up, and it'll be tipped over by C, and then off of a Cave City player. 9-2 is your score. They need 6 points to close out this match and win it 3-2. Castle prepares to serve. She gets it across, and it's deep, and it's out of bounds. That one was a little too high, and once it sailed over the net at the height it did, it went out of bounds, and Cave City will serve, trailing 9-3. Serve is up. Keeter sends it back to the front. Mudgett will set it. C will send it down, and that'll be a point for the Lady Panthers. They'll take a 10-3 lead. As they go into, as we're into this fifth set, we're fairly deep into it, 10-3. Kinsley C with the serve when we come back. We're back, and Kinsley C will be back to serve for the Lady Panthers. They need 5 points. Serve is up just behind the 10-foot line. They'll get it back across. Castle sends it to Mudgett. Mudgett over to Keeter, and a deep shot, or a heavy shot. Now it'll be set by Mudgett. Butler goes up. She's going to get this. It'll be tipped high in the air for Cave City. Now Kinsley C. It'll be out of bounds off of Cave City. When Keeter hit that, she hit that with authority, and it'll be 11-3. 4 points will decide this if they can go ahead and get this 4 points right now. C with the serve. It's deep on the sideline, back across. Mudgett will set this. No, she'll tip it across. Cave City gets it back across. C, Mudgett. Keeter goes up, and she's going to get that point. Ball falls in front of the players from Cave City. 12-3 is the score. Fifth and deciding set. Both teams have won 2 sets apiece here. First and fourth was won by Bergman. Second and third by Cave City. Now the serve is deep. At the 10-foot line, they'll set it, and it'll be blocked at the net, but they're going to call a penalty, a 4-hit penalty against the the Cave women. 13-3. Lady Panthers need just 2 points to wrap this up. Kinsley C back to serve. C and Blair have had great services in this fourth set. They get it back across. This will go out of bounds off of Castle's hand. She was diving to get to the ball. Was probably going to stay in bounds if she let it go. So not a bad move there. Serve is up. Porter sends it back to the front. Mudgett across. See. Over to Keeter from Mudgett. And that ball's inbounds. 14-4. This is set and match point, and it'll be Kyla Mudgett going back to serve. Setter extraordinaire for Bergman is Kyla Mudgett, and she will be back to serve. As she'll serve from the left side of the basketball lane. It'll go deep and be sent back to the front. Across. Mudgett goes down, digs this out. Porter gets it to C. She'll get it across, but they're going to call a double hit on Kinsley C. And that'll be a point for Cave City. They'll be back to serve, trailing 14-5. It'll be a deep serve. Porter gets it high in the air. Keeler tips it across softly. Now Seal send it back to the front. Mudgett sets it. Keeter goes up, and she tries to spike it down, but that'll be blocked at the net. I think she hit it more in the net than it was blocked. Either way, Cave City 14-6 is what they trail. They're serving. Castle back to the front. Mudgett tips it across. We're going to have a point, and they're going to say it was a double hit on Mudgett. She doesn't like the call, neither does the coach. Coach is in the official's ear over there in that corner. Cave City serving down by 7. Serve is up. Castle gets it high in the air, but it spins off of her hands. Porter's going to get it back across. Now the Cave women get it back to Bergman. Keeter goes up, spikes it down for the point, and that'll be the set and the match. At 15-7, they will win this set, and they will also win the match 3-2. We'll take a 50. We'll break here while these other two teams warm up, and we'll be right back shortly. All right, we're going to get our second match underway here today. It'll be the Flippin Lady Bobcats versus the Melbourne Lady Bearcats. And we will see this get underway. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Ott Family Farms and Odd Family Farms, Baxter Health. They're our corporate sponsors. They bring you every game or match that we can get to this year. They'll also bring you the football games on Thursday and Friday this week, as we'll have the junior high and the senior high on Friday night. It'll be Military Appreciation Night out at Yellville Summit. We want to thank all of our sponsors, to include Twisted Sisters Old South. Old South will be is the presenting sponsor tonight, and they will be glad to sponsor all of these contests. Dozier and Associates in Yellville, Allen's Grocery. At first point is going to be won by Melbourne. They start off serving and they hit an ace in between players on the back row. That'll be Robbins and, well, I'll have to get that number. Serve is up. It's over. It'll be sent high in the air. Wolf with the ball. Now it'll be spiked down and inbounds, and Flippin will get the point off of that. That spike was delivered by Ella Schroeder. Here's your serve. The serve is up and over. Hit awkwardly off of the Bearcats. Back across the net. And now it'll be sent back by the Lady Bobcats. Bearcats send the ball across. Be sent back to the front. And it'll be a shot that goes out of bounds. Coach will actually catch the ball is where it was hit. 2-1. Melbourne will take the lead here, and they'll be back to serve. Tipped over by Flippin. Now it'll be back across as the Melbourne returns it. Again tipped across, blocked at the net. Flippin with the volleyball, and it'll go across. They're going to call in the net against the Lady Bearcats. They call it against number 32. I guess that's a correction. It must be number 22. Flippin serving. Bradley gets it across. Halfway back from the baseline to the 10-foot line. Flippin at the net will return that. It'll be set and spiked at the net. Flippin will save it, get it back across. They get it deep into the Bearcat zone. Robbins saves this, and this will come back across from Flippin. Schroeder will set this and hit into the net by number 21, Jaden Wood. 3-2. Melbourne leads this early in this match. We're early in the first set, having only played 5 points. Back to the front. Halen Wolf will go after that, and she will hit it out of bounds. Served by Melbourne. High in the air. Wolf will send this back over, and it'll be sent across the net. Flippin's going to get the point. They're going to call a foul against the Bearcats, and that will send number 21, Jaden Wood, back to serve. Wood serve is up, over, and out of bounds as it'll go just out on that near side, or far side. And Melbourne back to serve. High in the air, sent back to the front, tipped over, and out of bounds. That ball will sail out of bounds as it goes off of a Melbourne player. 5-4 is your score. Melbourne leads, and back to serve is number 12, Kendall Ross. Ross's serve is up, over in a good spot. Dug out, though, and blocked at the net. Now Melbourne's got to get it back over, and they're not going to get it. It was the second block at the net by number 3, Ava Moore. Flippin will pick up that point. That'll tie this first set 5-5. Serve is over at the net. Sent way out of bounds, but they're going to call in. They're going to call in the net on Flippin, and so that'll be a point for Melbourne. They'll lead this 6-5. Ava Moore will check out. Checking in will be number 40. Big shot by Flippin. Melbourne will get it back across. Flippin returns it immediately. Now another big shot, and it'll go out of bounds in front of a diving Jaden Wood. 7-5 is your score. Melbourne back to serve. Serve is up, over. Flippin gets it back to the front, and it'll be hit into the net by number 3, Addison Gunther. Serve is up and into the net. Eight to 6 is your score. Melbourne serving. Serve is up, it's deep, and it's going to be through the baseline. That ball sailed through the baseline, and back to serve now will be Layla Schroeder. That ball's going to be hit deep, and it'll spin off of Melbourne. They've got to get it across, and they don't do it. It spins off of number 13 as she sees it go out of bounds right there in front of her. Macy Webb saw that go right out of bounds, and Schroeder will serve again. Serve is into the net and falls back on the Flippin side. We're all tied. Well, we were all tied up at 8. Now it's 9-8 as Melbourne gets set to serve. Serve is up. Dug out by the libero Bradley. Jaden Wood will hit it back across. It'll at the net. Now it'll be saved by Bradley, but this will go out of bounds on this near sideline. Goes just into the front row as the spectators send that ball back out. Served by Melbourne. Bradley back to the front. This will be tipped over, but it'll be blocked and sent right back to Flippin. 11-8, Melbourne now has taken a 3-point lead in this first set, about halfway. Bradley, high in the air, sends it, gets sent back to the front, and then it'll be hit softly by Autumn Loomis, and we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with them. 12-8 is the score. Melbourne leads early in this first, or midway through the first set. Melbourne will be back to serve. It'll be number 22, Maggie Pearson. Her serve will be up. It'll be deep and out of bounds. Sails through the baseline. Robbins will get set to check back into this. She'll check in for number 12, Kendall Ross. And serve coming up right here is sent deep. Now it's going to be, they have to just get it over. Bradley will send it high in the air. It'll be set and spiked They'll be saved and sent back across by Flippin. Melbourne will have their shot blocked at the net. Now Flippin will set this. Robbins will get it across, but they're going to call a foul, a double hit on Robbins, and Melbourne will take a 13-9 lead and be serving. Serve is up, over. This will be sent high in the air, spiked down, and point will go to, they'll call in the net on Flippin. Point will go to Melbourne, 14-9, a 5-point lead in this first set. We're more than halfway through. And that serve will go out of bounds, but they're going to say it was inbounds. Well, that official's right there to make that call, so I'm going to have to go to their judgment, but boy, it looked out from here. This one will go back across, Flippin returns it. Now they'll set it, Melbourne sets it at the net, hits it right into the net, and that'll be a point for Flippin. Or Love hit that right into the net. And Flippin will serve. High toss, gets it across into the back zone. Back to the front for Flippin. They'll set it, go up and try to spike it, and Jaden Wood will miss that and get it right into the net. Carly Blankenship back to serve. Her serve is up. It'll be returned by Flippin, not deep, and then it'll be hit awkwardly and fall to the floor as number 22 was given chase, Pearson, and couldn't quite get there. Going back to serve is Jaden Wood. Her serve is up. It's deep, sent back to the front, high in the air now. A shot was delivered to Flippin. Now Flippin will get it back across, and this will be set high in the air. A spike attempted. This will go across, and they're going to get this down on the floor after it hits two players from Melbourne. That'll cut the lead to 16-12. Melbourne still leads, but Flippin's trying to mount a comeback. Melbourne gets it across, high in the air, and this will be set. A spike attempted. It'll go out of bounds as it was blocked at the net, and it goes out of bounds off of Melbourne. Another point for Flippin. They've cut the lead to 3. Wood serve is up at the 10-foot line. It's sent high in the air, and then it's sent across. Bradley back to the front. Now it's going to be Flippin as that ball will go through the baseline. Melbourne will get set to serve here. Serve is up. It's over. It'll be dug out and sent back to the front by Wood, then sent across by Flippin. Melbourne will try to spike it. It'll be saved. Schroeder sets it, and it'll come back across for Flippin. Now Melbourne's going to send it back across. We've got a whistle. They're going to call a double hit on Melbourne, and that'll make the score 17-14. And going back to serve now will be Graceland Robbins. Her serve is into the net, and it'll fall back to the floor. Will check out, and Kendall Ross will check back in. Serve. Bradley in the air. Back to the front. Schroeder gets it across. It'll be blocked at the net by Flippin, and Melbourne has to get it over. They do. Wood sends it back to the front, and it'll be punched across by Flippin. Melbourne goes up, tries to tip it across, and can't get it there. It'll be blocked at the net by Halen Wolf, number 2. Bradley checks out, and checking back in will be number 15, Autumn Lewis. Serve is up and over. Low shot, dug out. We're going to have a foul called against Flippin. It'll be called against Loomis. And now 19-15 is your score. Melbourne leads, and they will be serving. Serve is up, and it's deep through the baseline. And that'll send Layla Schroeder back to serve. She lines up on the basketball baseline, gets a running start, gets the ball over, and she'll hit it almost to the basketball baseline on the other end. Melbourne will be back to serve again. This time it'll be number 22, Pearson. Serve is up, over, high in the air, but off the hands awkwardly of Wood. Goes out of bounds right in front of her own bench. Score is 21-16. Melbourne leads by 5 as we approach the end of this first set. Pearson back to serve. Serve is up, and it's over. Bradley will dig that out as she's checked back in. Wolf will set that. Wood tried to spike it. Now it just goes across. An attempted spike by Melbourne, and the return by Wood will go out of bounds. Wood blocked that, but she had to go out of bounds. We've got a timeout on the floor. 22-16, Melbourne leads. We'll be right back. And we're back here, 22-16 first set. Pearson back to serve for Melbourne, and they lead. Serve is deep, sent back to the front. It'll be set. Jaden Wood gets it across. Pearson sets this. And we're going to have a penalty called against, a double hit called against Flippin, and that'll give Melbourne another point. 23-16 first set. Serve is up. Bradley gets it back to the front. Now it'll be knocked through the baseline. Autumn Loomis got all of that and then some, and it goes through the baseline. 24-16, and Pearson now will be serving for the first set. Serve is up. Bradley digs it out, gets it back to the front. Wolf sets it. Loomis gets it across, and it'll go out of bounds 3 rows deep on this near sideline. 24-17. Robbins will check back in. Ross back out. Back to serve. They're going to change the ball out. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but they'll change the ball out. Now Wolf will send this across. Melbourne has to get it across from the back row, and they do. This ball will be set and sent across. Now Melbourne will spike it. Blocked at the net. It'll be sent high in the air for Flippin. Loomis will tip this across. Melbourne will dig it out and save it, get it back across the net. Schroeder high in the air, and it'll go to Wolf. Wolf will get it back across now. Pearson sets this. And Melbourne's going to hit that out of bounds in front of the Flippin bench. 24-18 is the score. And Halen Wolf will be back to serve again. Serve is up. It's over. Melbourne will send this back across. Bradley to the front. Set. And a shot delivered back by Wood. It'll be set by Wolf and a shot by Loomis. To the back row it goes. Schroeder sends it back to the front. And they're going to call, it looks like they're going to call in the net. No, they're going to call a double hit. And that'll be the end of your first set, 25-18. Melbourne wins the first set. This is the best of 5. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Flippin will open up this second set by serving first. It'll be Halen Wolf back to serve. And Melbourne had a question for the officials. They've got that question answered. Here's the serve by Wolf. It'll be sent back to the front. High in the air. A big shot by Melbourne. And Flippin will send this through the baseline on the far side. It'll go all the way up into the band area. And Melbourne will take a 1-0 lead as we start this second set. They lead 1-0. Pearson finished out the set serving, and she'll start it serving this time. Bradley, high in the air. Loomis with a shot that falls just inside the baseline for a point. Perfectly placed shot, and it goes up into the band area. And now we'll have Jenna Bradley back to serve. She is the libero for the Flippin Lady Bobcats. Her serve is up at the 10-foot line and sent high in the air. Now they'll just send it back across. It'll be set by Wolf and spiked down, blocked by, Wolf's shot was blocked, and it found its way on the floor on the Melbourne side. And the Lady Bobcats will win that point, and they'll take the lead 2-1 early in this second set. Served by Bradley is over. Pearson sets this at the net, and that'll be hit into the net for another point. We'll go ahead and give a point to a block to number 40. Now Bradley serving. Hit midway deep. This will be saved and sent back to the net. It will go under the net, and it'll be a Melbourne point. 3-2 is the score. Melbourne will be back to serve. Serve is up. Hits the net. Bradley goes down and gets it. And now this will be sent back across. Might have gone out of bounds, but Melbourne saved it. They'll return it. At the net, it'll be sent back across by Flippin. Now Melbourne just has to get it back across. Bradley, Wolf, and Wood will send that across for Flippin. Back to the front. Number 40 is going to get that across, and it's going to fall to the floor. Or it looked like it fell to the floor, but apparently it hit a player and bounced up, and they kept it alive. Robbins gets it back across for Flippin. Now Melbourne will go up and send it back to Flippin. Robbins went down for the ball and couldn't get it, and the point will go to Melbourne. 3-3, Melbourne back to serve. Byram, her serve is up, over. Bradley gets it high in the air. Blocked at the net by Melbourne, and it'll be another point for them, 4-3, as they retake the lead here in the second set. They lead the match 1-0, and they are still serving behind Byram. Byram gets the serve up. It'll go off of the hands of number 40, and I don't have her number. I'm wondering if that's not one that came up from the junior high after the season ended. Byram serve. It's up. Sent back to the front. Wolf will set this. And it'll be down and inside the baseline for a point for Flippin. That was Layla Schroeder coming from the back row just behind the 10-foot line as she gets that to fall for a point. Wood back to serve. Her serve is not particularly deep return. Immediately tipped back over by Flippin. Now to be sent over by Melbourne, but they're going to call a double hit on that hit, and it'll be 5-5. We're all tied up again. Jaden Wood's serve is over. This will go awkward off of the facilities and fall to the floor at the baseline. Flippin will get the point. And Jaden Wood will go back and serve again, with Flippin having retaken the lead 6-5. Oh, a miss hit by Melbourne. This will go straight to the floor for another ace. And Wood will push it out to a 2-point lead. Serve is up. It'll be over. Not sent high in the air, but sent in the air. They have to just get it across. Wolf will set this. It'll be spiked and blocked and out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds off of Melbourne, and Wood will serve it to another point. Now they take a three-point lead, 8-5. Serve is deep this time, sent back to the front. Blocked at the net by Flippin. Now Flippin with the ball. Schroeder gets it across. Melbourne will send this across, and Flippin with the ball will send it deep. And that's going to be another shot by I'm not sure if that was Wood or if that was Wolf that hit it, but either way, Flippin takes a 4-point lead, 9-5. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Wood will be back to serve as she continues for Flippin. Serve is up and over and perfectly placed as it falls in front of the Melbourne player. And now Flippin has doubled this up and lead 10-5. Wood gets set to serve. Serve is up, low over the net, but goes over. Now it'll just be returned. Wolf will send that high in the air over to Wood, back to Wolf, and she'll get it across. And that ball will go out of bounds off of Wolf's hands. She did everything she could as that was a hot shot to her, and the score is now 10-6. Deep, big shot there by Flippin. Melbourne will get this back across. Bradley high in the air. They've got to get it back. They do. Now it'll be two players coming together. Miscommunication causes the point to go to Flippin. Robbins will check out and Ross will check back in. Bradley with the ball back to the front. Schroeder goes up and she'll slam it down for the point. That'll make it 12-6. Back to serve. Ross goes back. She gets the serve up. It's deep. High arcing serve. This will be sent back to Bradley. Bradley sends it to the front. Schroeder's going to send it down. It'll spin off of Melbourne. Out of bounds. They'll save it. Now Wolf will set this again. Schroeder goes up and she just pushes it, but they're going to call a double hit as they've called that consistently all night long, whether it was or not. Melbourne will be back to serve as they trail 12-7. Bradley gets it high in the air. Now it'll be sent across by Wood. Melbourne at the net just hits it across. Wolf will send this high in the air. They're going to call in the net on Wolf. Her momentum carried her in there. They actually call that a double hit when she tried to set that. 12-8 is your score. It's a 4-point lead now for Flippin. About halfway through this second set. Melbourne will hit that. It'll go out of bounds right there in front of Coach Kilgore. Her Fighting Lady Bobcats are here. Loomis back in as Bradley checks out. Back to service, number 40. It'll get him back to the net, and it'll be spiked out of bounds by Melbourne. Melbourne just looks disjointed right now. Serve is deep, and it's going to awkwardly bounce off of the libero, her hand, Blankenship, and it'll go behind the bench, one row deep into the stands, and it'll be another point for Flippin as they pushed it out to a 7-point lead, 15-8. Serve is into the net, and that'll be a point for Melbourne. Macy Webb back to serve. Her serve is up. It'll be sent back to the front. Wolf will send that high in the air, and Loomis will send it out of bounds. It'll be another point for the Lady Bearcats. 15-10, Flippin leads in this second set. Melbourne leads the match, 1-0. Serve is up, back to the front. Wolf's going to set this, and it's going to go out of bounds on the far side. Wolf had a big, Wood had a big shot on it, but it went out of bounds, and that'll be another point for Melbourne. Melbourne sends this over. Bradley, high in the air. Wolf will set this. Schroeder hits it into the net, and it'll be a point for the Lady Bearcats. They've cut the lead now to 3, 15-12. And Webb will be back to serve again. Serve is up, and it's not particularly deep. Wolf sets this. Schroeder gets it across. Now Melbourne's going to set it, get it back across. Schroeder to Loomis, and Loomis is going to get it over the net. Melbourne's going to save it, but not before they fall into the net. Number 22, Pearson, was into the net, and now Schroeder will go back to serve. Layla Schroeder, number 30, gets this serve deep, and it's going to go awkwardly off of Webb's hands and fall to the floor. That's an ace for Layla Schroeder. Next serve is up to the back row, spins off. Webb's going to get it back to the front. They'll tip it over. Now it'll be Wolf tipping it over for Flippin. Shot delivered. And we're going to have Melbourne with the ball, tipping it over back to the front and tipped over by Loomis. Now that Melbourne's going to set it at the front, punch it over. Wolf sets it, and Wood will deliver a shot that is stopped and returned. Now we're going to have a point for Melbourne, as they're going to call number 16 in the net. That'll be Grace Jackson. And that serve will be into the top of the net and fall back to the floor. Ross will check out, and Robbins will check back in. Going back to serve will be Halen Wolf for Flippin. Webb gets that in the air. Now Webb's just going to get it back across, and Flippin with the ball. Wolf sends it straight to the ground. It'll be off the hands of a diving number 33, Aura Love. And now Wolf will be back to serve again. We've got a timeout on the floor. 19-13 is your score. Flippin leads. Wolf went back to serve, and she got that shot into the net. And now Melbourne will get that point. 19-14 is the score. Served by Melbourne is hit deep. Wolf will set this. Autumn Loomis gets a shot. Now Bradley will save it. This will be sent over to Schroeder, and she will hit it into the net. Pearson back to serve for Melbourne. Robbins gets that back to the front. Wolf. Loomis will get it over. Bradley gets it back to the front. Wolf will send it back to Loomis. She gets it across. Now it'll be tipped, and into the net will be Loomis is what they're going to call. Melbourne back to serve. Serve is up into the net, and it'll be a point for Flippin. As they trade points right there, it's 20-16, and Autumn Lewis will be back to serve for Flippin. Number 15, her serve is up and over deep. Sends it back to the front and over and out of bounds through the baseline. Flippin will take a 5-point lead as we get close to the end of the second set. Loomis's serve will go out of bounds off the hands of Webb as it goes into the bench of Melbourne. And now Autumn Loomis will serve again, needing only 3 points to close this set out. Serve is up deep in the zone. Melbourne will get this back across. Wood sends it high in the air. Schroeder's going to send it back across. It's tipped back by Melbourne. Now Wolf will send this across as Wood gets a shot down. Melbourne will go up, get a shot back across. Flippin sends it high in the air. Robbins back across the net. Flippin will dig that out initially, but it'll fall to the floor as Jalen Wolf tried to get a hold of that. Or Jalen Wood, I'm sorry. Bradley checks back in for Loomis, and Melbourne will serve. Bradley back to the front. Wolf. Schroeder's going to send this through the baseline. 22-18 is your score. 4-point lead for Flippin here. And Melbourne will serve again. Serve is up. Bradley digs it out. Wolf sets. Schroeder sends it across, and she's going to send that one across just in front of the baseline, and it'll be a point for Flippin. 23-18. They need 2 points. Jaden Wood back to serve. She's had a good service night so far tonight. Serve is up. This one goes into the net. I guess that's the announcer's jinx. And back to serve now will be number 20, Blankenship. Blankenship serve for Melbourne is a low liner. Wolf gets it, and then Wood will send it back across. Melbourne will send it into the net, and that'll make it 24-19. Robbins back to serve. Graceland Robbins, number 23. She'll go back to serve this set point. It is up, over, back to the back row, to the front. They'll set it and block it, and that ball will go out of bounds off of Melbourne after it was blocked at the net. 25-19 is your score, and we'll be back after the break. Flippin's Autumn Loomis has pushed this lead out to 5-1. Loomis' serve is going to be another ace, and she'll push it out to a 5-point lead, 6-1. Her serve is up, and it's over. Off of the hands awkwardly. Back in the middle of the zone, and they will get this across. Wood sends it deep. They'll just push it across. Robbins tips it. Wolf saw it go right over her head. Loomis will check out, and Bradley will check back in for Flippin. Back to serve will be Blankenship. And that'll hit the net and fall to the floor. 7-2 is your score. Flippin leads, and Jaden Wood goes back to serve. Her serve is deep, and it'll go well through the baseline. Seven to 3. Melbourne serves. High in the air. Wolf will save that, and then Schroeder will send it across in a perfect spot in front of a diving number 33, Aura Love, and it'll be a point for Flippin. Ross will check back in as Robbins checks out. Ross will go back to serve. Serve is up, and it's over. Hit deep into the corner. Now it'll be sent back across in front of Bradley, and it'll be a point for Melbourne. 8-4 is the score. Melbourne gets set to serve. That serve will go off the hands of Bradley and through the baseline. And it'll be another point for Melbourne. 8-5, Flippin leads. Wolf sends this back to the front. Schroeder sends it over. Blocked at the net. And that'll be number 40 going up and blocking that shot. It'll be Loomis checking back in for Bradley. And back to serve will be number 40. Her serve is up over about halfway down the zone. Now it'll just be returned. You got to do that, and you can't blame Jaden Wood or Ross for that one. Now Bradley will check back in, but you got to hate it when it falls just inside the baseline like that. Sent back to the front by Wood. Loomis is going to tip this over. Now Melbourne will hit it into the net for another Flippin point, and the score will be should be 11-6. Serve is up. It's over. Melbourne tips it back across. Schroeder. They're going to call a foul against Melbourne, and that'll push the score out to 11-6. Apparently 10-6 was correct. Schroeder serve. Deep. And she gets it back to the front. Melbourne will have it blocked at the net. It'll be blocked at the net and go out of bounds. Loomis is going to pick up a big block there, but the point will go to Melbourne as it went out of bounds on that far sideline. Pearson's serve is over the net. Wolf will set it. Loomis gets a hold of it. It goes awkwardly off of Melbourne's hands. They just get it back over. Wolf now with Loomis. High in the air for Melbourne. Now they've just got to get it across. They do. Wolf will sit this high, and then she'll send it back across. Spike goes to Wood. Schroeder now, and that will fall for another point as it didn't go in the air. It just went forward, and none of the Melbourne Lady Bearcats could get to it. 12-7 is the score. Ross will check out. Robbins back in. Halen Wolf back to serve, number 2. Deep serve in the middle. And Melbourne gets it back across. Now Wolf will set this. Wood will get it, and it'll go all the way across. And they're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul against Melbourne, and that's going to give Flippin a 6-point lead, 13-7. Wolf will be back to serve after that ace, looking for more. (13-7), Flippin leads. Match is tied at 1 set apiece. This goes across. It was going out of bounds, and Melbourne saved it. Now it goes out of bounds through the baseline off of Melbourne's hands. That was off of number 11, Byram, and it went through the baseline. Flippin gets another point there, 14-7. Serve is over, but it's out of bounds. She was trying to aim that for this, just inside this sideline where there wasn't any Melbourne players, but it went out of bounds. And now Byram back to serve. Bradley sends this back to the front. Wolf will set it. Loomis. And they've got to just get it over because they hit 2 quick hits. Now Schroeder will set this. And look, that'll fall just inside for Wolf. She hit that just inside the baseline, and she'll pick up the point there. 15-8 is the score, or at least that's what's on the scoreboard. And Bradley will be back to serve for Flippin. Bradley serve. Low liner. Gets back across by Melbourne. But they're going to call a foul into the net. Melbourne coach is going to question that. Not very animated, but she questions it. Jenna Bradley, serve. And that'll go out of bounds off of the hands of number 13, Macy Webb. It goes out of bounds into the bench area for Melbourne. Jenna Bradley will be back to serve again. We've got a timeout on the floor. Bradley will serve when we come back, leading 17-8. Okay, Bradley back to serve. Match is all tied up at 1 set apiece. Melbourne sends that in the air. Now they just got to get it across, and they do. They tip it. Wolf sets this. Schroeder sends it across, and it'll go. I'm sorry, that was Wood sent that across, and it'll go out of bounds off of Melbourne's hands. 18-8. They push this out to a 10-point lead. Bradley's serve is up and over. Dug out and return. Schroeder sets that. Now Wolf and Schroeder gets it across. Schroeder sends this back on the court. Bradley will send it across. Bradley digs out the spike. Melbourne almost caught sleeping, and then they are when Layla Schroeder goes up and slams that ball to the floor. I'm sorry, number 40 goes up and slams that ball to the floor. Flippin will win that point. 19-8 is the score. Bradley's serve is over. It'll be returned, and it's going to be inbounds. Now Melbourne will serve. Blankenship will check back in, and she'll serve the ball. This will be set. Number 40 gets a shot. Now they've got to get it across. They're not going to do it. Well, they're not going to call that 4 hits either. Robbins gets this across. It was going out of bounds and saved by Melbourne. Now Melbourne gets it back. Bradley back to the front. This will be set and sent across by Flippin, and then Wolf can't go down and dig that one out. Blankenship will go back to serve for Melbourne again. Her serve is up, hit deep. Schroeder sets it, and then Wolf will just tip it across. Now Wood will send it across as players are running into each other on both sides. That ball will be out of bounds, and Flippin gets that point to go back up by 10, and only needing 5 points to close out this set. Jaden Wood will be back to serve. Serve is up. It's deep. Blankenship gets it back to the front. Melbourne tries to spike it. It's blocked at the net. Now Flippin will get it across from Wood. Another attempted spike. Flippin gets it back across. It spins awkwardly, and now it's punched back over by Melbourne. Wolf will send this back, and she'll send it back in a perfect spot right in between the Melbourne Bearcat lady players. 11-point lead. Jaden Wood is going to be back serving when we come back. 21-10 is your score. We'll be right back. After the two teams hit it into the net on the serve, they just trade points. It's 22-11. Robbins back to serve. Her serve is back. It's deep to the front. It'll be sent across by Melbourne. Now Wolf will set it at the net. Schroeder went for the spike. It's blocked at the net, but it goes out of bounds. Flippin will pick up that point, and they only need 2 points now to win this second set. Now we've got a question by the officials from the Melbourne coach. They're going to all huddle up here at center court. We'll see what they decide after this. I'm not sure what the complaint was because it was blocked, but it went out of bounds. Maybe they're trying to say Flippin was in the net. Macy Webb is not happy with the decision, but the decision's been made, and Flippin keeps the point. Robbins gets the serve about midway deep in the zone. It'll be blocked at the net, sent back across by Melbourne, and Wolf will run out of real estate as she gets over right at the pole. Robbins will check back out, and Ross will check back in. Webb will be back to serve for Melbourne. Her serve is up. Back to the back row, and Schroeder sends it across. Now it'll be played by Melbourne as it comes back across. Dig, deep dig, and now Melbourne gets it back across again, and this one will go out of bounds. Flippin needs 1 point to win their second set in this match. Number 40 will go back to serve. Loomis checks back in as Bradley checks out. Here's your serve. It'll be deep, sent high in the air. Awkwardly hit, back across. Sent back to the front for Flippin. Schroeder gets it across, and she hits the net, makes the ball fall in an awkward spot. 25-12, Flippin wins. We'll be back for the fourth set in just a few minutes. All right, Flippin leads 2-1. They open the fourth set serving. Halen Wolf gets us across. Now we've got a penalty called against Melbourne, and it'll be point for Flippin as they'll open up this fourth set with the first point. Wolf's serve is over. Melbourne gets it back across. Schroeder high in the air. Wolf will send it back, and that's going to be inbounds as it hits the baseline. Wolf will send that deep in the zone, hits the line, and that means it's in 2-0. Halen Wolf serving. She gets that across. It's deep, spins off of the hands of the Bearcats, and they barely get it across. Now the Bearcats have to get it back across. Wolf's going to set this. Loomis tips it. It'll be over for Bearcats. Robbins is going to send this across, and it'll go out of bounds at the 10-foot line on the far side of the floor. 2-1, and that will send Pearson back to serve for the Lady Bearcats. Serve is up, and that's through the baseline. Bradley jumped out of the way and let that go, and it went out of bounds. Jaden Wood will check back, will be serving as Bradley checks out. Deep serve. And it'll be hit into the net by number 5, Callie Karn. She went up for it, just missed it. Now Wood will be back to serve with a 4-1 lead in this fourth set. Pearson sets this. And that'll be hit into the net by number 33, Aura Love. Uncharacteristic mistakes being made, but in the favor of the Flippin Bobcats. Serve is deep. Hit high and out of bounds. Went across the net, out of bounds, so it'll be another ace for Wood. And the Flippin Lady Bobcats have taken a 5-point lead, 6-1, early in this fourth and possibly deciding set. Served by Wood. Not particularly deep, but back on the back row. Back across. Wolf's going to set this. It'll be tipped across, back across. Now the two teams quickly get that across the net. It'll be sent to Loomis on the back row. Now Loomis will go up and she'll spike it. It'll go through the baseline up into the band area, and it'll be a point for Melbourne. 6-2, Flippin leads. Melbourne serving. Serve is up and over. Schroeder sends it into the air. It'll be sent back across. Melbourne with the ball, sends it back across for Flippin. Now Wolf will set this, and it'll be a big shot that goes high in the air, hits the rafters, and it'll fall back to the floor in a bad way. And it'll be another point for Flippin, 7-2. Going back to serve now will be number 21, Jaden Wood. Her serve is up. This will go awkwardly off of the hands of the Melbourne player, and the libero Blankenship will come back in. Wood serving after another ace. Serve is up. This will be another ace as Blankenship was diving for the ball. Couldn't get to it. 9-2. Flippin's opened up a huge 7-point lead. Still early in this fourth set, but a lot of mistakes being made by Melbourne at the current time. Now Wood will send this up. Wolf back across. They're going to call a lift against Karn, and that'll be a penalty against the Bearcats, and that'll open up an 8-point lead now as Wood serves. Hits the net, falls to the floor, and that'll go out of bounds on this near side as Robbins watched it go. Hit the net, and a diving play sends it out of bounds. 11-2. We'll be right back after the timeout. Wood serve is up, over, and it's going to go awkwardly off of number 11, Byram's hands and through the baseline, and it'll be another point. Now we've got Wood down on the other end of the floor. She's holding her leg. We'll see what's going to happen here, but we're going to have a timeout, an injury timeout, and I'm not sure what Wood did. Players will huddle on the floor for both teams. Wood will have some help getting off the floor, but she will come off the floor and her substitution will come in, and I'm assuming that will be serving. It'll be number 10. I would guess that would be another junior high player that came up. We will have those names for you correctly, though. Served by Flippin is up and over. It'll be sent back to the front. Now it'll be sent across. Flippin will get this high in the air. Wolf will send it back over for Flippin. Karn gets it back for Melbourne. And it'll be tipped across. Wolf. Schroeder. Melbourne will get it back over. Bradley digs it out. This will be set, and Schroeder's going to send this. It was going out of bounds, and Pearson decided to try and save it. It goes out of bounds now off of her, and the score is 13-2, an 11-point lead for the Lady Bobcats in this set number 4. Served by Flippin is up and over. Tipped up, pushed back over by the Bearcats. Schroeder goes up for a slam or a spike, and she's not going to get it as it was blocked or hit into the net, more likely, from the vantage point we had. Karn will check out, and Blankenship will serve for the Lady Bearcats. Serve is up, high in the air. Bradley gets it back to the front, and it'll be hit across. Again, one that was going out of bounds. Robbins will save this, but they're going to call in the net against the Lady Bearcats again. Robbins will check out as Ross will check back in. Lady Bearcats in the net, cost them a point. It's 14-3. Ross's serve is up and over. That was out of bounds, and the Bearcats send it back over the net. Wolf sets this, and Schroeder goes up, and it'll be saved by Melbourne, but they've got to get it back across, and they do. Now it'll be sent high in the air. Schroeder again sends it across the net. Back to Flippin. Wolf will set this. And it will be hit into the net by Flippin, and it'll be a Bearcat point. 14-4. Serve is up, over, dug out by Ross. Ross gets it back across the net. This will be tipped. Wolf sends it high in the air. Now it'll be sent across by Schroeder, as the Bearcats will send it back. Schroeder sends it high in the air. Wolf, Schroeder's going to go up, and that's going to be a point. They tried to block it at the net by number 13, Webb, and she couldn't stop that as it went off of her hands and out of bounds on the far side of the floor. Flippin serving. Serve is up, a low line serve, and they're going to call a lift on number 3. Gunther. She'll be called for a lift, and Flippin will take a 16-4 lead. This serve will be into the net and will be a point for Melbourne. 16-5. Bradley checks back in. Webb back to serve. Bradley, high in the air. Loomis sends that through the baseline. Great idea. Just missed on the execution there. And Webb will serve again. Serve is up. It's deep. Back to the front. Wolf will set this. Loomis gets it across, and that's going to fall inside the baseline over in the corner, and that'll be another flipping point, 17-6. And going back to serve will be Layla Schroeder. Schroeder with a running stab at this. It'll come back across, and they're going to call Flippin for in the net. No, double hit. They're going to call Flippin for a double hit, and that'll be 17-7 now, a 10-point lead as Gunther will go back to serve, and she'll hit that through the baseline on the other end. They trade points. It's 18-7, and Halen Wolf, who's been serving great tonight, been serving really good tonight, and she'll go back to serve. Serve is up. It's low. Comes back across. Flippin will see that go back as it'll be tipped at the net by number 12, Ross, and fall to the floor on the Melbourne side. Robbins will check back in for Ross. Halen Wolf's serve is over. Not high in the air, but in the air. Now it'll be sent back across by Melbourne, and now it'll be punched across by Flippin. But they'll call that a lift, and it'll send Pearson back to serve, trailing. Melbourne trails 19-8. Pearson serve. It's deep. Schroeder sends it back to the front. Loomis is going to send it down, but they're going to call a foul against Flippin for being in the net. Loomis was carried into the net by her momentum. Now Pearson serves. Sent back to the front. Bradley will try to send that across the net, miss hit it, and it'll be a point for Melbourne. 19-10 in this fourth set. We'll be right back. Pearson will be back to serve for Melbourne. Her serve is up. It's over. Schroeder sends it back to the front. Loomis tips it across. Blocked at the net, and it'll be a Flippin point. Loomis went up and got that block, and back to serve will be Jenna Bradley. Loomis will check out of this match for the time being. Gunther questioned something to the official. Bradley's serve is deep to Gunther. Back to the front. It'll go across the net. Bradley will send it back to the front. Wolf sets it. Schroeder will send it back across. There was a whistle, and they're going to call a penalty against Flippin before the shot goes out of bounds, and that'll be another point for the Bearcats. Schroeder sends this back to the front. It'll be set. High and out of bounds. They'll send it back in on the floor over the net. Schroeder back to the front. And this ball goes out of bounds as the official had to jump out of the way or get hit with the ball. Byram back to serve for a second time. Serve is up. It'll be dug out by Schroeder. Wolf back to the front, across by Flippin. Byram to Pearson. And they'll get it across the net. Bradley will dig that out. Now it'll be set. Schroeder will send this across. It hits the facility, and it's going to be a point for Flippin as that ball went out of bounds, came across the net, still out of bounds. So it'll be Flippin's point, and they lead 21-12 and prepare to serve. Serve is up, over, dug out, not high. And this is going to be a nice shot by Pearson. She'll get that in the back zone and put it down quite well as she spaced that out. Spaced it out and pinpointed the shot. Now back to serve will be Carly Blankenship. Her serve is up. Bradley gets it in the air. Wolf sets it, and it'll be sent across by Flippin, and it'll be another Flippin point out of bounds off of the hands of Melbourne. 22-13. 3 points to win this set and the match. Flippin leads 2-1. Robin serves into the net and falls to the floor on Flippin's side. Back to serve will be number 33, Aura Love, for Melbourne. Her serve is up and over, probably going out of bounds, but Bradley saved it, and Schroeder's going to nail that shot as she hit it right all over on this near side, near the baseline or sideline. Loomis back in as Bradley checks out. Back to serve will be number 40 for Flippin, and Flippin will prepare. This serve will be a low liner, goes across the net. It'll be sent back. They're going to have in the net on Flippin, and I believe that was called on Schroeder. 23-15. Flippin needs just 2 points. Pearson back to serve. Her serve is up. She's going to get an ace. That ball will hit a Flippin player and fall to the floor. And she'll be back to serve again. I'm sorry, that wasn't Pearson. That's number 13. And I believe that is Macy Webb. Her serve is up. Out of bounds off of Flippin. And that's going to be another ace. She's got 2 aces in a row. Ball was just simply mishit, but mishit or not, it went out of bounds. The official's going to warn some Flippin fans here to calm down. Webb's serve is over. And it'll be sent back across the net finally on the third hit. Pearson's going to send this deep. It'll be set. And Schroeder, that was so close to the net, Schroeder didn't want to take a chance on being called in the net. It does give Melbourne another point, 23-18, a 5-point lead now for Flippin. Bradley sends this back to the front. Wolf's going to set it. Loomis is going to hit it, and she's going to hit it into the net. I'm not sure why Coach Kilgore. We've got a timeout on the floor, and your score is 23-19. Flippin leads the match 2-1. A lead that was as high as 11 has been cut to 23-19. And Flippin still leads. Loomis with a big shot, and that'll fall. Flippin needs 1 point to win this set and this match, and Layla Schroeder will be serving as the Flippin bench is animated to the point. Now we've got a timeout on the floor. 24-19. We'll be right back. We're back here, and Schroeder will be serving for this set and the match. Serve is up. It's back to the back row. Carly Blankenship gets it in the air. Now it'll be sent across. Wolf at the net. Loomis tries to spike it, and it's blocked. It'll be blocked by number 3, Gunther, at the net. 24-20 is your score. Karn will check back in. Now Wolf sets this. Loomis gets a shot down. It'll be returned by both teams now, and it'll be sent across by Melbourne. Wolf will send this high in the air. Schroeder sends it across. Melbourne now with the ball. Karn sends it back across. Wolf. Schroeder sets it. It'll be hit hard and returned by Melbourne. Wolf now will set this. Loomis will get it across, high in the air on the Melbourne side. Sent back over to Flippin. Wolf now sets it, and this will be off of the hands of Melbourne. Back across, though. And then that shot will be out of bounds. Loomis went for the kill shot, and it goes out of bounds by about 1.5 feet, and that'll be a point for Melbourne. Bradley, high in the air. Webb's going to set it. Schroeder goes up off the top of the net to the back row. Now Melbourne gets it back across. Schroeder again is going to go up. She's going to get this one. It's going to go out of bounds. Flippin's going to advance, and we will see them again in this tournament, and they will win this 25-21. That's the 4th set. They win the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th set, and they will win this match here tonight, and they'll move on Thursday to play again, and we'll take a break and be right back. We want to thank our sponsors here tonight. Our presenting sponsor was Old South Food Truck. If you are in the mood for some great catfish, get by there on Fridays and check that out, and they'll take care of you. Our corporate sponsors that bring you every one of these games is Baxter Health over on Hospital Drive in Mountain Home. If you've got something that's ailing you, get over to Baxter Health. They can take care of that and get you back into your daily routine as soon as possible. Ott Family Farms is our other corporate sponsor. They've been proud politicians and educators in Marion County for more than 30 years, and they want to say good luck to all of these student athletes, and a special good luck to Brooke Ott as she goes through her school year and sports seasons. North Arkansas College over in Harrison. If you're looking to further your degree or further your education after high school, go to northark.edu. They'll get you hooked up with a counselor, and they will get you into whatever job you want to get to as soon as possible, whether it be a technical certificate or a college associate's degree. We also want to thank Dozier and Associates at in Yellville. They sponsor all of these just so that the kids can have a platform so that the families that are not here and can't be here get a chance to look at this. We also want to thank Twisted Sisters. That's a hair salon in Flippin that if you have a need to get a haircut, they will take care of all of your haircutting needs, man, woman, or child, it doesn't matter. They'll do a great job for you. They're located in Flippin on Main Street. All you have to do is get by there and see Jennifer, look for the blue-green parking stops, and they'll take care of you. We want to thank Allen's Grocery in Summit. They're at the four-way stop there in Summit. All you got to do is go up and talk to Tony, Isaac, or Nate, and they will take care of you and get you just the exact cut you want of meat, or they can take care of everything else. They claim it's the best place to meet, and if you stop by there in the evenings, you can get your gas for the next morning and then move on from there. Want to thank all of our sponsors here tonight and make sure that all of them know how much we appreciate that. Bank of 1889 in Yellville, they're there on the curb. If you are looking for a banker that you can trust and that'll take care of you, that's who you need to see is Bank of 1889. We have our Players of the Week. Again, this week it was Kinsley C. For Bergman, and that is a Diamond State Player of the Game or Player of the Week. They will do all these female athletes all year long. So tune into the paper or buy a paper and check it out each week. Our Farm Bureau Player of the Week this week is going to be Wyatt Gilly. Had more than 200 yards passing, 4 touchdowns passing, and a rushing touchdown for the Panthers in the loss to Mountain View on Friday night. Woods Wrecker here in Flippin. Woods Wrecker, if you find yourself in need of a tow, give Woods Wrecker a call. Woods Wrecker service number 2 here in Flippin will take care of it, and they can put your car where you want it without scratching anything or anything else. In Gassville, we want to thank White River Auto. If it's that time of the year where you want to start winterizing your car, that's a good time to do it and take it over to White River Auto over in Gassville, and they can take care of that for you. Also in Gassville, we want to thank the Home of the Coaches show, and that will be Taylor's Freeze King. They're there in Gassville as you come in. And like I said, that's the Home of the Coaches show. When we can finally start getting them done, we will get those done over there at Taylor's, and they take care of us, feed us, and also are proud to sponsor all of these schools in this area because it's something that there's extended family that live in different states, and it's important for them to be able to watch their family members play these sports, which we know they're student athletes and they're students first, but they are student athletes. And so we think that we're proud to have them on board this year. Well, I'm Robert Lyons. We'll be back with you for sure Thursday night from Salem, where the Panther Junior High team will take on the Salem Greyhound Junior High team and a conference matchup. The Junior Panthers are 5-1 on the season, and they will be looking to go 6-1 as they play the Salem Junior Greyhounds. On Friday night, we'll have Military Appreciation Night at Yellville Summit, and we will proudly welcome all veterans and the Yellville Summit players or ROTC will present the colors for that game on Friday night. Any veterans there, make sure you come out. Also, Flippin will be hosting their Veterans Day service on November the 11th, and that will be at 8:30 in the morning here at Flippin High School in the new gym. So get out there. If you're a veteran, get out there and check that out. And all veterans are welcome to attend for that day. I'm Robert Lyons. It's been my pleasure to bring you these matches here today. And we look forward to more matches as we go. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday night at about 4:30 in the afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you later.